Have you ever been outside, maybe in your yard or on a walk, and noticed something in nature that you didn't recognize, but you were curious about? We're introducing Nature Sparks, a series of short videos by our own outdoor school staff to help you get curious and know more about natural things in your own neighborhood. On today's Nature Spark, we're going to be learning about the rhododendron. I'm going to say that a little slower because it's a big word. Rhododendron. That's right. Rhododendrons are native to Oregon, and you will often see them maybe in your own backyard. But there are over 1,000 species of rhododendron. I know, that's so many. And they're all over the world in different regions. But our rhododendrons come in two different sizes, kind of a bushy model that's about 3 to 6 feet tall, and they even grow as tall as trees. But we're going to show you how rhododendrons look, so maybe you can find one in your own backyard. So this is a rhododendron. It's the bushy kind. So this one is about 6 feet tall. It's been here for a while. And you can tell it's a rhododendron for a couple of reasons. One, it's got these long, smooth leaves that come to a point. See the point right there? And they're long and oval, kind of like a surfboard with a point, right? And they're very smooth and thick and waxy. And then they have these cool buds. So out of this bud is where the flower is going to come, and it's huge when it grows. And I'll show you some pictures of those in a minute. But this tightly wrapped bud right here is staying nice and cozy for the winter. And then as the spring progresses, a giant, beautiful pink flower will come out of this bud. So if you look, you can see this is the rhododendron. I would bet that you've probably seen this in your own backyard. But did you know that these particular rhododendrons can get up to 98 feet tall, like a tree? It's amazing. Just so happens that I have a tree version right here in my own backyard. It's not 98 feet tall, but it's still cool. Let's go take a look. Believe it or not, I am now standing next to another kind of rhododendron. That's right. This is kind of the tree version. Isn't that cool? It looks just like the other one, but it's growing up on kind of this woody, stocky trunk, like a tree. If you look closely, it even has bark. It even has some lichen growing on the bark. We'll talk about lichen later. There it is. And if you look, you can see that this rhododendron looks kind of similar, in fact exactly the same as the ones that we were looking at over there. It's got that nice tight bud and the oval shaped leaves. Kind of curious, isn't it? Anyway, so this is the tree-like rhododendron, and I have actually seen with my own eyes an entire forest of these rhododendrons that grew really tall. It was pretty amazing. Well, let's go back and look at some other ways that we can identify the rhododendron. So we're back at the bush-sized rhododendron, which is a little easier for me to show you because it's my height and not a tall tree. So this 6-foot bush-sized one is a great example because one of the things that we look for when we're trying to identify a plant are consistencies. And consistencies are things that are always the same. So when we're looking for a plant, we look for things that are always the same when we look at it, that don't vary or change, right? One of the first consistencies we can look at are the leaves. And the leaves of the rhododendron burst out in kind of a star pattern from the center. As you can see here, the center of the bud, we've got those cool oval-shaped leaves bursting out pretty consistently, pretty evenly. And if you lift up, you can see that there are layers of leaves underneath. Another way to look at a plant to help identify it is to look at the stems. And if you get close, you can see that the rhododendron has these bright, straight, yellow-green stems. Another way is to go deep into the bush or the plant and to look at the trunk and the branches. Are you ready to go? All right, let's take a dive into the rhododendron. If we go inside the rhododendron bush, we can see that the branches look more like a tree, right? Kind of brown, and they have bark like a tree. So you can look at the stems and you can look at the branches to help you identify what a plant is. It's very exciting. So anyhow, the rhododendron is a really beautiful plant, and I'm sure you will see it at some point in your yard or on a walk. And now you have better ways to be able to identify it. Another way to get to know a plant really well is to draw it. So if you have some colored pencils, you can take a small clipping of a plant, especially if it's big and abundant and healthy. We don't want to take clippings of plants that are small or endangered or that'll hurt the plant to the point it might die. So this is a pretty robust and healthy rhododendron, so I feel like I could take a clipping with some sharp scissors that your parents will help you with, that I could take a clipping of a leaf and draw it, because that's one of the best ways to get to know a plant. You don't have to be a great artist to draw it. It just helps you to understand it when you really look closely at it and try and draw it with your own hands. Our staff does that, and you'll see some of their pictures coming up. Thanks so much for tuning into our Nature Sparks. If you have comments or questions or know a fact about the rhododendron, share it in the comments. We'd like to know what you already know. You might know more than us. So please share with us and take good care. We'll see you next time.